His wife had a medical emergency, and he decided to go back to sleep. Reddit did not hold back. Reddit decided he was the devil after what he did to his wife. During her medical emergency, when this story first appeared on Reddit, it didn't take long before it was cross-posted to r/AmITheDevil. Not because it was confusing, not because it was morally gray, but because to many readers the answer felt painfully obvious. The original poster, a 34-year-old man, genuinely wanted to know if he'd done something wrong. Reddit strongly disagreed. The man had been married to his wife, Emily, for 6 years. No kids yet. 2 demanding careers. A carefully balanced routine. He described himself as practical and solution-oriented. The kind of person who liked schedules, plans, and clear expectations. Emily, on the other hand, was more flexible, emotional, empathetic. Someone who believed relationships required patience. That difference had caused friction before, but nothing like what happened that night. Emily had been feeling unwell all day. Not dramatic, just off. She mentioned dizziness in the morning, nausea by lunch, a pounding headache that wouldn't go away. The man noticed, but he didn't panic. She'd had migraines before. She tended to push herself too hard, and he had an important presentation the next morning. When Emily suggested maybe going to urgent care just to be safe, he told her they'd see how she felt after dinner. She didn't argue. That should have been the first warning sign. By 9 p.m., Emily was curled up on the couch. Her skin was pale. She was shaking slightly. She asked him again, more quietly this time, if they could go to the ER. The man hesitated. It was late. Hospitals were expensive, and he had an early meeting. He suggested she take some medication and try to sleep it off. Emily nodded, but her eyes filled with tears. In his Reddit post, the man admitted he felt annoyed in that moment, not because she was sick, but because things weren't going according to plan. He told himself he was being rational. That panic wouldn't help, that overreacting would just create unnecessary stress. He even thought, if it were really serious, she'd be more upset. Around midnight, he woke up to a sound he couldn't place. A dull thud. Then a gasp. Emily had collapsed on the bathroom floor. She was conscious, barely, but disoriented. Her speech was slurred. One side of her face drooped slightly. Anyone else might have panicked. He didn't. He told her to stay calm, asked her what year it was, told her she was probably dehydrated. When she tried to stand and couldn't, he finally called an ambulance. But here's the detail that sent Reddit into a rage. He didn't ride with her. He stayed behind. In his words, he didn't see the point. The ambulance was already taking her. He didn't want to leave the apartment unlocked, and he still had work in the morning. He figured he'd meet her at the hospital later. Emily begged him not to go. He told her she was being dramatic. Those were his exact words. Emily had suffered a minor stroke. Doctors said that while it wasn't life-threatening, time mattered. Earlier intervention could have reduced the severity. She spent 3 days in the hospital, alone. The man visited once, briefly, after work. He brought her laptop, so she wouldn't fall behind. When Emily was discharged, she was quiet, withdrawn. She didn't thank him for handling things logically. She didn't reassure him. Instead, she asked a single question. Why didn't you stay? He didn't have an answer that satisfied her, and that's when he turned to Reddit. He framed it carefully. He emphasized that he did call an ambulance, that he did visit, that he didn't think it was that serious at first. He asked, "Am I the a-hole for not staying with my wife during her hospital stay when I had work obligations?" Reddit did not hesitate. Top comment, "This isn't am I the a-hole, this is am I the devil." Another, "Your wife had a stroke and you stayed home to sleep." One commenter broke it down bluntly. "You didn't choose work over her, you chose convenience over compassion." but not everyone agreed. A small minority argued, "He called an ambulance. That's more than some people do." Another said, "People respond to emergencies differently. Not everyone panics." Those comments were buried, downvoted into oblivion. Within hours, the story was on our AmITheDevil. The tone shifted from judgment to disbelief. Imagine being married to someone who treats your stroke like a scheduling conflict. This is why women say they're scared to get sick around men. She didn't just have a medical emergency, she had a relationship-ending one. Then the man posted an update. Emily asked for space, not a break, not a conversation, space. She stayed with her sister. She told him she didn't feel safe relying on him anymore. That sentence confused him. After all, he had called for help. Reddit was stunned. The consensus was brutal and nearly unanimous. You showed her who you are in a crisis. Love is what you do when it's inconvenient. She learned that if things get worse, she's on her own. Some commenters shared personal stories. Women whose partners stayed, men who dropped everything, people who slept in hospital chairs for days. The comparison was unavoidable. Emily filed for divorce 3 months later. No screaming, no dramatic fight, just paperwork. The man admitted he was blindsided. He still believed he'd acted reasonably, but he also admitted something else. He never once asked Emily how she felt about the experience, only whether she thought he'd done something wrong. Reddit's final takeaway wasn't about hospitals or work schedules. It was about presence. You don't prove love when it's easy. You prove it when it costs you something. And in that moment, when his wife was scared, vulnerable, and in pain, he chose comfort. Reddit didn't hesitate to name it. So Reddit asked one final question. If this is how he handles a crisis, what happens when something worse comes along? If you want to see more videos like this one, be sure to hit like and subscribe. And if you like listening to stories, then you're gonna absolutely love Audible. It's perfect for story lovers. Try it out for free today. Just click on the link in the description.